Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today we have two top 16 breakdowns for the Saturday as well as the Sunday regionals for the Bandai Card Fest from this past weekend. They were both pretty big regionals with over 256 players with these top 16s that we see here today. And a couple of things before we get started. First, if you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe. It really does help, and I really do appreciate it as well. And if you guys want any of the deck lists from either of these events, you can make sure to check out the website in the description, Eggman Events. We have all of these deck lists as well as all the others in this format too, so you can check that out. And then lastly, I do want to say a big thank you to Bandai for letting myself and Dane be the commentators on site for both the finals for the Saturday and Sunday. So we were able to watch them. They're really fun, and I really do appreciate the opportunity to commentate with Dane. And if you guys aren't following him on YouTube, link to him in the description too. Make sure to hit that follow or subscribe, I guess, because we're on YouTube for him as well. But jumping on into this one, we do have two top 16. So Saturday we did have 4 Bardocks, 4 Blue Vegeta, 3 Aandroidd 17, 2 Son Goku GT, a Yellow Vegeta, which ended up winning the event, a Son Gohan Childhood, and a Beerus. And then on Sunday we did have 6 of the Blue Vegetas, 4 Bardock, 4 Aandroidd 17s, a Beerus, and a Son Gohan Childhood. So the other day, because I didn't expect to get these deck lists as soon as we did, I did think that 17, 18, and Blue Vegeta are 2 of the best leaders of this game, and then kind of had like a tier 1 point. Like those are best in deck, best in format, and then from there like tier 1. And I think like most of the stuff that we had from that previous one is pretty spot on still. I think the biggest differences or biggest shocks, I guess, for me is one, just how much Bardock was able to top for this event. It did really well, better than it's done, I think, previously. We can see other events where it would get like the occasional top or two, and it did win some events too, but it wasn't really a big contender for the format in general. But I think it did really well this event between the two of them. I'm also really surprised that Jiren didn't top for this event. It's literally topped every other weekend except for the first like TAC regionals that we had, and it just has been doing well. And to see it top neither events, I think, is really interesting, and have Beerus take its place. So there's just like a lot, I think, that's still in this format. I think decks are kind of shifting and adjusting for the matchups that are a little bit tougher for it. And even like with the card pool and deck pool that we have right now, I don't know, I've been really loving this format. It's been really good, and I've been really enjoying all the opportunity for it. We're gonna go over each topping leader. We're kind of just jumping between the two events, so I'm not trying to lean on one more than the other, but more of the builds that I kind of personally like, just because it's harder to kind of balance between the both of them. But if you guys want any of the deck lists from them, they're all on my website. You can check them out, and you can use my deck builder, import it into the client if you want, and just use them any way you want in that way. But we're gonna go over the first place list between the two events. So we're gonna start at our Saturday event. So this is Crowe's version of their Yellow Vegeta, and this is a really interesting build. Right before Card Fest, I did a good amount of testing with Vegeta on my live stream. It's still up as well if you guys want to see it. And my build's significantly different than the build that we see here. So a couple of things to note that I think are interesting. The first one is that we only have 1 copy of the energy absorption. This is a card I feel like is super good. I feel like you can run a couple copies of these. Worst case, it's just like a almost free cycle. Being able to stun something is great, I think, in this game right now and where we're at with it. And the fact that we're only running the 1 copy is a little bit wild to me. I'd be running at least 2, if not 3 or 4 copies. We have 1 copy of Blue Power Awakening as well, which is really good for getting rid of like a Broly that's in rest mode, or just like having the plus 25k. We have the Final Explosion, which again, I'm playing this card at like 3 or 4 copies depending on it. So only running 2 and not having like the Bobbity Searcher for it, I think, is a little bit wild, but obviously it worked out very well. We are not playing any of the 1-drop draw cards. We're playing the Ginyu instead, which I think is interesting. We have like the 2-drop Frieza, and then we also have like our top end of the Golden Frieza, but none of the 6-cost Golden Frieza, and also this Whis as well. So this is an interesting card. It's a blocker. Activate battle once per turn. You can pay 1 to switch this card to active, so you could use it on like your defense as like a blocker, but it wouldn't be able to block the first attack because block step is gone, so you'd have to pay it, restand it, and then you get to block with it on like the next attack. But it's also like a 10k, which I know that Yellow has a hard time getting those consistently. They probably have like one of the worst card pools for 10Ks in the game right now based on my own testing, but an interesting ad for this one. But this is a completely different deck than I've been playing for this guy, and it's just really cool to see something that I haven't, some cards that haven't been on my radar get the entire tournament. I think that's really, really cool. So this is the build here from Crowe. I'm going to definitely have to test it out in a little bit, and congratulations for their first place there. Next up, we've got the blue Vegeta, and this is definitely the Vegeta I'm a little bit more experienced with. I do think this is a deck that is really, really good in this format, if not the best, maybe tied with Aandroidd 17. But you just have like answers to every situation, and you can be really, really aggressive as well. So you probably know most of the key points, but I'll quickly go over them. We've got Videl, very good 2-drop. Being able to get your peel-offs is really good. I personally don't like Vegeta, but I do understand like it's a great early game pressure card. Being a 2-drop 20k crit that also can help you self-awaken if you need to, I think can be very powerful. We also do have our removal, like Vegito is fantastic. People are playing this card more and more since Tempo, I think, is really important right now too. You just don't really lose out on anything by playing this Trunks. It's something that you can recycle with your 2-drop Videl as well, since it's an Earthling that costs 3 or less, which is great, and just kind of like a better card than Sun Gohan Adolescence against some cards, since it bounces 5s back to your opponent's hand, which is really good. And then a top end of 3 Vegito, 2 of the Vegetas, as well as 2 copies of Zeno. So in general, like this is just a really good combination. This is Tyler's version of the build. I think this deck is just solid right now how it is. Just able to get like a lot of value as well as a lot of pressure based on how much cards we draw. The cards that we're able to play are very great, and then peel-offs just get value late game that we just can't be beat by anything, I think, right now. So this is the build here from Tyler, and congratulations for their first place on the Sunday event. Next up, we've got Tony's version of Bardock. So of the 2 leaders, Bardock and Son Goku GT, I think Bardock's been the one that I've been liking a little bit more of the 2. This is definitely a leader that I thought, the activate battle is just saying, oh, please use me in my archetype. It's really, really great, but you don't need to. Like, it's just like a generic leader. Being able to be 25k on attack is already really good. But then also like occasionally being able to be like a 35 for free or get like a free combo. You're just kind of like worse Vegeta. Like that's legitimately it. You're just like worse Vegeta, because sometimes you're a 35k on attack depending on like how lucky you are on the top card of your deck. Other than that, like that's still really, really good. It's a lot of pressure for you, and you can take advantage of getting the free combo occasionally. You have cards like and you do have like a good amount of Bardock's crew stuff. We have 16 cards, so you can do the math on how frequent that is, even if it's -3 for this Bardock because it's not the one you need. But you just have so many good targets for it. We do have like the Fascia. We're playing the Bardock. So we have like the 3-drop. So this one's good. This one's obviously a little bit better than GT, but you can still get some double attack with this, which is really nice. Or dual attack if you want. We also have the promo Bardock. So this is a 2-drop 15k. It's a 10k combo, which is what we really care about, but also permanent. Well, this card is in battle and you have a card in your combo area, this gets +5. So this can be buffed up pretty good for like a 25 or 30k, and then on play up to 1 card from your life to your hand. So if you need to awaken and apply some pressure, you can. It's a little bit clunky depending on what your life looks like and what your tempo looks like, but it's definitely a card you can run like a backup copy of Son Goku GT, even though the energy marker from this guy I think is really good in a lot of ways. So in general, I think this deck is great. It has a lot of pressure. This card is the reason this deck is good, and that's okay. 4-drops on Goku GT is just in a really, really good spot, and I think this deck is just fantastic. So we'll see how it does in a little bit. I think this is definitely a deck that the more people, it's probably one of the more expensive decks in this format right now just because of Son Goku GT, but when more and more people get the hang of how this deck works and what the value system is, I think more and more people will get better with it too. So, but this is the build here from Tony. Congratulations for their top finish with Bardock. And then going over to our other leader, we've got Son Goku GT. So this is Saiyan Pride's version of the deck, and I was originally on board for this leader. I do think it's gets to take advantage of your energy a little bit more efficiently. since you're almost always going to have this activate main once per turn, choose up to one of your battle cards. It gets plus 10k power until the end of your opponent's turn. If you move to a marker, it's plus 15 instead. So there are also some like weird situations where you can just buff up something, and because you do, it's just like harder for like red to get rid of it, or even just to attack into it normally. So you could like do like a silly play where you play like a 1-drop Hercule, you get like a card back, and then you use the marker, and then you have like a 20k for 2 energy, which isn't too terrible, and then your opponent kind of has to respect this card or put some time into it if they want to remove it. So I think that's great. And then obviously being able to turn this into a 35k dual attack with our leader ability is just really great in a lot of scenarios too. So you know, you can choose which one you like more. I think that generically Bardock is a little bit better, but Goku does have some points where it is a little bit better. You're less constricted to your deck building. You can be a little bit more open to it, which is why we're playing cards like Dr. Mew, which lets us get energy markers if we really need to, which I think is strong. And I think both are good. It's just kind of down to a personal choice, but Bardock does have a little bit of the edge between the two. So, but this is build from Saiyan Prides, and congratulations for their finish there. Next up, we have Daniel's version of 17 and 18, and this is I'm picking this one because this is almost card for card the build that I've been playing. I think it's very good. That Aandroidd 17, 18, like that's not breaking the mold, right? Saying that Aandroidd 17, 18 is a really good deck right now, but it's true. It's going to be doing well, I think, for the next little bit. And without any changes, it's just like this card's so good. You just carries out a lot of games. So some other cards that we have are like Son Gohan Childhood. This has been a newer add back into the deck just because it's able to KO 4 or lesses. So that's really good for getting rid of some Goku GTs in the black matchup on Curve, which is nice. We also do have cards like the I think they like this legitimate only difference is I play 2 copies of Big Bang Attack, and Daniel plays 1, and then also the Son Gohan Childhood, which this is a good card, especially like in the mirror match, being able to like clear their board if they went super wide with it. Worst case, you just like charge the card too, but I think like a 1-of for this isn't too bad for what it is. And then we just have our 1-drops, our Krillin, which helps us find our combo pieces. I do like the Trunks feature. I also run 3 it, but so I think we have like some minor differences, but being able to use this to like play our 17, 18 for 4, but get 3 back, and then play Trunks Future are a destructive strength. I think just like the double ramp in the single turn without really losing any advantage is, I think, really strong for this deck. And you probably know your own thoughts about this deck in general, but I think 17, 18 is here to stay. It's going to be in a good spot. Congratulations to Daniel for their finish there. And the next up, we've got our other green deck. So this is Son Gohan Childhood. This is Mark's version of the build, who went X1 with it on Saturday. And I do think like this is a deck that it does like the same thing as 17-18, but it can have a good matchup into 17-18. Specifically, the reason for it is that the Trunks Future here, being able to use this to like get the ramp and make it hard for them to interact with, I think is really great. And still like being able to play a body and get the ramp with it, which is cool. I also do like this Son Goku rare. This card's just generically really cool and helps out in some weird matchups. The fact that you're able to remove a Jiren 4-drop means that matchup's not as not as spooky as it would be otherwise. You do have to give them an extra energy for it, and it doesn't seem like Jiren has been as popular lately anyways, but that is like a point of contention for this over the Aandroidd 17-18. And then other than that, that's pretty much it. You do kind of rely on 5-drop Goku a little bit. We're only playing 2 copies because I feel like every set this card's like a little bit more removable, but it's still good when you're able to sit it on the board, and then just kind of like the rest of the good stuff for it. So obviously you got to run less androids. You don't have to run as many androids, so we have some more free space for that. And we're playing the full 8 Brolys, which you can't be beat if you see all these on Curve as well. So I don't have much more to say, but congratulations to Mark for their finish there. And to wrap up this video, we do have Goblin's version of Beerus. And Beerus was I think finishing very strong at the end of FB03. I was expecting it to do a little bit better into FB03, to be honest. We do have our new Beerus combo with the 3-drop Beerus as well as the 5-drop, which this is really great. It's a really great combo. You don't have a lot of ways to consistently see it because we don't draw on our front side, and we don't really have some great ways to search it leading up to it. But if you do play it on Curve, or if you're able to play it like a turn early, if you have the marker, this Beerus doesn't like I feel like the 5-drop Beerus doesn't have a lot of ways for your opponent to interact with it, which is very strong. So other than that, though, it does. I think like the crit leaders have been just always underperforming outside of Beerus, and even Beerus right now like a lot of decks are just very, very value based, and because of that, it's just 2 or 3 turns without draw really add up when you kind of get to that late game with the deck too. So I do think Beerus is still strong. I think it's still a viable deck, but it's definitely been hurting since obviously it was able to take advantage of the 4-drop Kefla when that card was at 4, and I still think like Sun Gohan Adolescence is a really, really good card for this deck for removal purposes, but I do see that it's been a little bit less popular as we've been getting deeper in this format. But I think this is a really good finish for the deck, and congratulations to Goblin for their finish there. But that's going to be it for me. If you guys want any of these deck lists, they are on my website, Eggman Events, for both the Saturday and Sunday regionals. Once again, if you made it this far in the video, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe. It does help a lot, and that's going to be it for me. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.